Well, the first item and the biggest one coming from me is a new experiment that we're running on the homepage, and it's quite a big experiment. All the links here you see are links that trigger certain variants, and it has 6 variants in total. And I'm gonna open each one and go a bit through them and show you what they do. The first one is the control. And Giorgio, I think you were gonna release this. I don't know if it's on
This
production.
has, yes, it's been pushed to production. Well, at least I pushed it. We should make sure it's working.
Okay. Well, I already generated these on development, so I'm just gonna show it there, but it should be on production. First one is the control variant, and just a quick reminder that we added this functionality a few weeks ago that you can overwrite variants of certain experiments by adding them into the URL as the search parameter is the name. And so this is the name of the experiment in posthog, the experiment key, and then it equals the variant that you want to trigger. So in this case, we're looking at the control variant, and this is just a standard Storytel homepage before the Mad Libs. You have the calls to action here for work, life, and play, and you have the usual. Don't remember what the term we used for these. I think they're homepage suggestions, which just roll in with different kinds of prompts, and the prompt bar is empty. Then there is the second variant, which is a version of the control experiment with no Mad Libs and no calls to action. So we don't link to work, life, and play anymore. The homepage suggestions are gone and the prompt bar is empty. And I just noticed there's a lot of empty space here because it pushes it by window size. So I think we'd want to pull in the
Hmm.
social proof a bit higher up, right, Rodrigo?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get that into a ticket and I can do it as a quick follow-up later.
And Lex, if you can make that a sub ticket to the CTA one, that'd be great.
Yep, thank you. I was testing on smaller screens and I missed that. So we have basically two versions of each, like the main variant, which would be like the control variant is that there's no Mad Libs, for example, and then there's a version with CTAs and without CTAs. And those are the first two versions. And then the next two versions are around Mad Libs. So the first one is the Mad Libs prompt with all the CTAs, with the suggestions and the work life play. And there's a variant for Mad Libs without any of the CTAs. Okay. And the last one, and the one that introduces something we haven't yet talked about, comes as a suggestion from Flav, and that's that the question library pops open when you visit the page. And I'm going to refresh it again, and you'll notice that it waits around a second and then pops up. That's so that the user has enough time to take in the rest of the page and then notice the animation so it doesn't start out opened, but then it's just slides out. And then you can click on any of these, and there's been one more change, and that is that I will choose the quick summary. If you click on any of these prompts, it will actually take you into a campaign. So if you submit any of the question library prompts from the homepage, it will take you into the campaign for that prompt, which provides a better experience for our users since they will be guided into uploading things properly and they will know what's expected of them. And then we'll continue just like our usual campaign.
And
And yeah, go
I
ahead.
had a question about this. I realized after we talked about can you go back to the first screen where it pops open? And so,
Yes.
like Andy's saying, this is a campaign. But Andy, what happens if I actually choose a file here and I choose like quick summary and then I choose a file here? Do we lose that since we're putting someone into a campaign?
I'm actually not sure, so we can try that out right now. Well, yeah, if you upload it, it will just take you to a new thread.
It just drops them out of the campaign.
Well, you Let me see, because I didn't put the campaign prompt in here. Let me try one more time.
Okay.
It's, yeah,
So they
I'm
would
not sure
sign
if
up
this will
there.
trigger a campaign. I don't think this triggers a campaign anymore since there was a
Yeah.
knowledge change before the prompt was submitted,
Okay.
but it
Maybe
works.
maybe it could auto submit this, but it's not breaking, I guess, is the main thing here.
No,
Yeah. Okay.
thank you. I should also mention that the prompt campaign only happens when you're doing that from the homepage. If you're in a thread and you hover over these, you'll get the LLM recipe for that campaign. And then submitting that will just go through the regular response of the LLMs that usually happens. Okay, so one of the variants was question library popped open with all the calls to action, and question library pops open without any of the CTAs. And that is the final variant. Let's go into the next one. Some SEO improvements, and more specifically improvements to our meta tags, especially for the homepage and the sub pages like work, life, and play. Vineeth asked to kind of redo those. I am actually not prepared because I don't have a way to show them a nice way. So I'm just going to show them in the ticket. And I'm gonna share it in the chat, but these are the new ones versus the old ones. So instead of Storytell AI Smart Chat, it's going to say Storytell turn data into business intelligence with AI. And then there's more specific descriptions for the sub pages, like for work. Instead of just listing out all the use cases under work, it will have an actual sentence with relevant words, which should be much better for SEO.
Nice.
So I'm just going to share that, and you can take it up with Vineeth if anyone wants to change anything.
Looks awesome.
Cool. Thank you. That was a short one. And now Graham has been busy in his first week. So I'll hand it over to him and he can show us the rest of the updates.
So I think I'll start with the prompt history, if that's okay.
That's okay.
So one of the things that we've been looking at, and the one that's actually been launched, is keyboard controls for prompt history. So I'm looking at a particular thread here, and you can see that I've asked a couple of prompts, and then delve deeper into one of the responses that it provided, and just via keyboard controls, you can just go in and using your up and down cursor keys, you can get to your prompt history. And there's some work done in here as well to make sure that we're not skipping you too quickly, that you can actually, for your larger prompts, still navigate around as people might do with the cursor keys for the section of text that they're actually looking in. So that's purely just a keyboard control navigation of your previous prompts. One of the things that's coming out of this as well is that if I just put a partial prompt in but don't actually save it, or don't actually submit it rather, I can actually have that continue to be part of the prompt history as well if we want to. And that's something that's coming in the next iteration of this. So if you're thinking about something and then you want to go back and come forward, you can still retain that prompt history. So this is in production just now. Only the up and down cursor keys at this moment in time, which may be not ideal for most of our users. So I just wanted to give a wee sneak peek of what we've actually got in PR just now, which is bringing in some navigation elements to the prompt bar that allow you to essentially click back and forth. So this is in PR just now. It's not quite up or launched, but I want to try and get this by the end of today. And it has exactly the same behavior, except we've now got the menu items added to the location that Mark actually suggested. So we've got those in there. And I've included the keyboard controls in a little prompt suggestion there, a little tooltip. And obviously these buttons are enabling or disabling depending on whether or not you're at the first entry or the last entry in your prompt history. One of the things that's happening here as well is that if you do actually fill something out, you can again come back and it kind of stores that partial prompt, if you want to call it that, until you actually submit something. Those will stay in your history. That was a conscious decision. If it's something our users don't like, obviously they just want to stick to what has been submitted. That's something that we can look at as well. Okay, so the next piece that I was looking at was returning users to the previous page after auth. Now, this is limited at the moment purely to Magic Link users, and we do have a PR up for the Google Auth Rodeo, so that's something that we should hopefully see come out today as well. So if I just go into sign up here, and what I'll do is I'll just grab a email address that I've kind of got here. So let me just grab this. And wait for the email to come through. There we go. And if I copy my link, I'm doing this now. I'm just thinking, did I actually go to this particular page when I came in here? I hope I did. If not, I'll run it again. Oh, there we go. Yes. So it takes us back to the original thread that we were looking at before I hit sign up. So very simple piece. Again, just limited to the Magic Link, but there is a PR up for Google SSO as well. Hopefully that I've found the solution there. So yes. When you sign up from any of the call to actions, whatever page you're on, you'll be returned to that page on completing sign up.